Well guys, welcome to my Traxxas rally project. I say project as I've been wanted to get a Traxxas car for a while now, that I can do like a series of standard upgrades on there, things that people might do out there in the real world. So what I'm talking about is very standard Traxxas upgrades, but upgrades nonetheless, and see just how they affect this car's handling, improve the speed, etc. Thought that might be of interest to quite a few people out there, because love or hate Traxxas, everybody still has access to them and all the parts from the local model store. Now in today's video, to get a little bit more speed out of the thing, I'm going to keep the stock motor but change the spur gear and the pinion gear. Got this high quality one from Hot Racing and this real high quality one from Servo Hobby. We shall see on that one. Anyway, I shall be fitting a Valinian power plant to the Traxxas Rally at some point very soon, but I'm going to do that using the Traxxas Power Up program. I'm going to show you exactly how that works, how you can go about getting a hot motor in your car for not an awful lot of money, and it is something that quite a few people do know about. There's a lot of people out there that don't know about because they don't read through that manual that comes with the car. Anyway, so what are you going to see in this video? Well, first of all, I'm going to take the Traxxas Rally outside, quick spin round in the yard, and show you just how fast the car goes as standard. Then I'm going to come in, change the spur and pinion over, take it back out and see what improvement we get in the speed. So let's get this thing outside and see how it goes as standard. Well, we're outside, 83 tooth spur on 12 tooth pinion, both of which stock out the box. So let's see how this goes to start with. Now, but also when you watch the other video on this is running actually flat out on there. Okay, well, with a freshly charged 2S pack, we've got pretty high grip on here. Look at those, it turns very well. So, flat out along there. It's not a huge high speed on the car as standard, but even with this gearing, oh, he says it will plough over pretty much anything. Now, to anybody that wonders, to get a 30 mile an hour speed out of it, you need to fit the optional gear into it, which is not quite the same as what I'm going to fit today. But anyway, I'm going to fit my version of the optional gear into it, and we'll see just how much quicker it is. Okay guys, that's the first bit of the test, seeing how the car is handling visually with the stock gearing on there. I'm now going to fit the new spur and pinion. For anybody that's interested, I'm going to do a step-by-step guide at the end of this video on how to fit the spur and the pinion to the either Traxxas Rally, but the same will apply to a Slash or a Rustler 4x4. Anyway, I'm going to get on with that gearing, so the very next bit of the video you're going to see is with that gearing fits to the car outside. And if you like this sort of stuff, you want to keep up to date with this project, then don't forget to subscribe. On the car, anyway, let's go. Oh, quite a bit more rapid there, Rich. Oh, and that's got that tail out handling now. My, what a difference just a small change in gearing makes. Yep, nearly went over the edge there, folks. Under an 18, so maybe a little bit warm on there. Not quite sure on there, guys. I was caning it quite a bit. It's a 50C battery pack on it, only 2S though. A little bit warmer than I would like. 18 tooth pinion, so let's see how we get on. And that's quite a bit of improvement over the stock there. Quite surprising on that. Oh yeah, we're liking that. And the motor's not going to be getting warm in this setup. Really, you can just floor this on full throttle on here, you can turn. And it's not going to cause you any problem. Very forgiving car, I have to say. And that gearing on there, that short gearing, is going to get through anything. Lift off oversteering, yeah, hey, I like that. Well, liking that. Enough power to flip the back out. The acceleration all round, much improved. This is going to be real fun to drive when it's got brushless on there, because the top speed is still not going to be huge, but the way it's going to get there is going to be where the fun's going to be had there, boys. And even on 2S here, you've got enough power to flick that back end out. Bear in mind, this is quite a high grip surface. On the grass, it would be completely different. With this test, it was really to see what effect in terms of the pinion and the spur changes might have on the acceleration. Switching to that 73 tooth spur, absolutely brilliant, but the motor, you can smell from it, it was running a bit too warm. No point in blowing the motor out just for the sake of it, so I'll put the stock spur back on 18 tooth pinion, and I think this is the combination I'm going to settle on for when I put the Valenian power on board this. So if you don't want to miss that video, don't forget to subscribe. I think that top speed Valenian might be a little bit more than this though. Well guys, the next bit of this video isn't going to be more of me thrashing the car around. It's going to be a step-by-step guide as to how to change the spur and pinion gear on any one of the Traxxas 4x4 cars. Okay, well first things first, you want to remove this single screw which removes the gearbox cover. Next, you're going to undo this little clamp here, put that safely to the side, and after that we're going to undo this screw here. This will enable us to then completely remove the motor out of harm's way. Put that cable clamp out of the way, undo this screw to remove the motor mount. With that done, the motor should simply ease out completely like that. That is how easy it is to change the pinion gear alone on any one of these Traxxas 4x4 cars. Simple as that. One screw, two screws, and you 1, 2, 3 screws, and you're done. Now, next step, before you do anything else, you're just going to remove these 2 screws here, and then remove the 2 screws under the bottom, and this whole rear assembly will come away in one piece. So no need to do anything other than remove these 2 screws on the top here. Just going to remove these 2 on the bottom, and that rear assembly should just pull away. One of my 2 screws on there, putting them safely down on the side. Note the 2 from the underside of the car are slightly longer than the 2 from the top side. Wiggle and a jiggle. This is, that will simply remove the back of the car from the front. Simple as that. And at that point you can simply slide the existing spur gear assembly out of the way. All you have to do is remove these 3 screws, then fit the new spur gear. 3 screws removed. This should just ease off of there. Guys, when you take the thing apart, you can choose, you might think you want to choose to ease the spring because there's been a slipper clutch on there, but there's not actually any slipper clutch at all on this car on there. So the thing, once you remove the 3 screws from the back of the spur gear, you'll be able to pull it straight off, meaning the new one will slip straight on. And once you've removed the old spur, the new hot racing one simply fits on over the top of it. Now I'm going to use my existing screws and keep these hot racing ones separate for use another day, as this same spur gear I believe can also be fitted to one with the slipper clutch. So I will save those for another day. Hope that makes sense. You're simply going to push the gearing assembly in so that bearing locates in there, pretty much like that. Just push that home. There we go. Just ensure that's nice and solidly home in there. You don't want any play in there whatsoever. Now the back end, now you may need to wiggle and jiggle the gearing around in order to locate the back in there, moving it round, and the rear wheels turning. So now everything's located in there fine. Simply pop the top 2 screws in. Now bear in mind they were shorter than the bottom ones. Carefully flip the car back over, put your 2 longer screws in the bottom, and that's the whole thing back together. That's the whole of the car, back end of the car rather, back together, ready for me to fit my new pinion gear on here and put that back in. The final bit, now my new spur gear is in there. Change the pinion over. Now if anybody's wondering why it goes so slowly, originally the pinion gear is 12 tooth and that original spur 83 tooth, so the whole thing is geared around torque rather than top speed, but I do want to increase that top speed a bit. So let's see what we've got in terms of those pinions. High quality surpass gears, we've got 6 of them: 13 tooth, 14 tooth, 15 tooth, 16 tooth, 17 tooth, 18 tooth. 18 tooth, it looks about the right size to my mind, so we're going to try that. As I say, link to these parts below the video should anybody want them. You know, on this little tab, this little hole here goes over that tab down there, so that locates in there. Motor slides home, and you're just going to need to get a feel for where the pinion is on the motor, because you've not got room to push a piece of paper in, anything like that. You're just going to feel for the transmission is too tight or too loose there, guys. Sorry not to be more help on that one. Always have a plan B. Well, my plan B in this case is to fit a 22 tooth pinion to the car, because the 18 tooth one wouldn't actually reach the smaller spur, something which I'd kind of failed to take into account. I thought it would be close, but I thought we'd still get there. So, oh, there we go. I thought my 22 tooth wasn't going to fit for a minute there. The gearing all back together, moving it up and down on the bench, just check it's not too tight. As I say, absolutely essential that this nut is tightened. In order to tighten that, you will need to hold this while tightening that nut. Don't just hold, you can undo the nut by holding the gear wheel and untightening the nut. To tighten it back up, you've got to clamp this. I hope that makes sense, guys. This back on, let's go outside and test.
So that's how to change a Traxxas Rally 4x4 spur and pinion gear start to finish, step by step. I hope that was useful. You'll be able to do this on a Rustlock 4x4 or a Slash. If you found this of use, then don't forget to subscribe.
We hope you liked this video. If you did, please click on the circle image to subscribe.
And if you hit subscribe, then don't forget to hit that little notifications bell next to it.